Anthony Joshua has officially been released from the hospital following a tragic accident that took the lives of two of his teammates, his friends, and we do want to pay our respects there. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. I have an update for you all. Anthony Joshua, I am happy to report, has been released from the hospital. Now, if you follow my channel, you would know this tragic story where Anthony Joshua was maybe a week or two outside of knocking out Jake Paul, breaking his jaw, and the world was with Joshua, celebrating Joshua being Nigerian, having Nigerian parents. I don't know, I guess he was on vacation, so he went out to Nigeria, nothing out of the normal there. And unfortunately, an accident took place where Joshua, the car hit on the expressway. It looked like a parked semi-truck, and it was going at too high of a speed. The report said the tire may have blown out, and boom, the whole right side connected with the semi, and it was just destructive, and there was a ton of carnage. Two people on Joshua's team, his personal trainer and friend, and his strength and conditioning coach and friend, both lost their lives. I am happy to report that Joshua, unfortunately for his teammates, they didn't make it, but Joshua and the driver did, right? And I made this graphic for you guys. Follow me on Instagram. Joshua has officially been released. So good for him. Man, I really feel bad for Joshua and the family. And I want to send my prayers and condolences out to them. It has to be gutting and completely a mind uck when you do a service like knock out Jake Paul. A lot of people were waiting for that moment. Even before the fight, Dana White was like, he was asked about Joshua and Jake Paul, and he didn't see Jake Paul winning. So he's like, I have a feeling, a strong, stern feeling that people are going to get what they want. And he was referring to Jake Paul getting knocked out. The fight happened, and it looked just like that, where it looked like a gross mismatch. All the talk, all the like Jake Paul standing like this and IR him, and screaming and all the antic, all the streamer stuff, all the promotion, that was out the window. He did nothing with Joshua. He lost every round. All three judges on the scorecards had Jake Paul down. I've obtained a copy of the judges' scorecards. And Joshua had his way with him, pause, right? Did what he when he wanted. And around the fourth, fifth round, he started to turn up, close in, get his timing better. Keep in mind, Joshua was coming off of a loss to Daniel Dubois, and he was coming off a long 15-month layoff. So once he got his timing down and the ring rust out or whatever, he started to really clip Jake Paul, and it wasn't much of a fight. Jake Paul, he was scrambling around, trying to buy time, occasionally, doing laps around the ring. It was a bigger than normal ring, and he was just like, ... And occasionally he would try to do a big, plant his feet and throw a big overhand right or something. Couple of them landed, but I'm not here to beat around the bush, people. Jake Paul and Logan Paul, they were like, oh, you wobbled him. He didn't get wobbled. Joshua, he got hit. Obviously, his head, contorted a bit, and he ate it and then finished his combination. So what are you all talking about? This is where we separate the boys from the men. How them boys gonna win? This is a grown man, B.I., get you wrote in the tree out, yeah, right? How they gonna win? Talking about Joshua was wobbled. What happened? If he was so wobbled, why you ain't finished your job? So that part was cap. Jake Paul got cornered, and really the first significant flesh shot that landed, it broke Jake Paul's jaw in two places. So Joshua, it looked like, I'm not saying he didn't train hard for it, but it looked like an easy fight, right? Definitely wasn't his hardest fight. Jake Paul was talking about, he has problems with smaller men, Andy Ruiz and Usyk. It shows you Jake Paul He's not on that level with them as far as elites. At the elite level of boxing, you're not going to just be able to not disguise and telegraph your punches, fall to the ground, tackle them. Jake Paul, it showed a gap wider than what people thought in that fight with Anthony Joshua. People, I think, thought he was further along, but looking at that, as soon as you fought someone where you were faced with some adversity that should beat you on paper, like, you capitulated and folded. Moving around, burning unnecessary energy. A real boxer, like, and I'm not saying he don't box, but I'm saying a lifelong boxer. When I say real, that's what I mean. A lifelong boxer, they get the job done. Like, people clown Shakur Stevenson. You have never seen Shakur move unnecessarily as much as Jake Paul did. Floyd Mayweather, for sure, you ain't seen him do that. But people call these black fighters runners, Cuban fighters runners, but then you literally will watch a Jake Paul out of answers, literally running and getting his jaw broke as soon as he doesn't run. But for black and Cuban fighters and melanated fighters, you don't really see that. You don't really see that same level of, oh man, you gave it a go. Oh man, you at least tried. But when it's a fighter you like Andrew Tate or Jake Paul, we're supposed to have all this sympathy. But I want to get back to Joshua. To go from that type of high to an immense low, that's a complete adrenaline dump. The world of boxing was celebrating you for holding boxing down and not losing to a non-lifelong boxer, and you're on top of the world. Women were making videos like, ooh, Joshua, who is this guy? He's handsome and all this type of stuff. The fans were celebrating you for ridding the game, at least, breaking Jake Paul's jaw. Unfortunately, that's what happened, right? And then now you got to bury two of your best mates. Like, I mean, that's crazy. Joshua, he's a strong dude to endure that, because I wouldn't wish that on anybody. You know what I mean? And I really wonder what this does to Joshua, because Joshua has, in the past, mentally, he was talking about getting a sports psychologist after he lost and stuff like that. Seeing that type of carnage and your boys on the asphalt, your boys no longer with us, you got to get people who to replace him if you continue fighting. I think Joshua should have a long think, take his time, and come back even if he wants to, but maybe not even come back. I don't know. That is something that is very heavy to deal with. And I firmly believe this, and I've always advocated for this. Boxing has changed my life. I love the sport of boxing. I would not get up every single day and get on this mic if I didn't love the game. Of course, I'm human. I get frustrated like all of y'all with boxing politics, fights not happening, people doing social media talk and we don't get to fight, bad judges, scorecards, premature stoppages, fights getting canceled, people pulling out injuries, people woofing, saying they want to fight and not. I get upset about all that just like you guys. I'm human. But I love this sport, and I've dedicated my life to the sport of boxing. So if you like that, subscribe to the channel. But I've always stated this, despite my affinity and attraction to the sport of boxing, there's things that are grander and much greater than the sport of boxing, like human life. I'm always going to humanize the game. Actually, Andre Ward, he said that to me live in front of the media. He was like, Ego is one of the people in the game who humanizes the sport, right? So obviously he had seen my work or whatnot. And I've always been like that because I'm a regular person. I'm a regular person that loves boxing. And for me, this is one of those reminders that all the beef and trash talk and, oh, Joshua Fury, oh, Joshua Wilder, all that don't mean nothing in the grand scheme of things when you're talking about real life. People who are ops with Anthony Joshua, Gerald Big Baby Miller, Tyson Fury, they've all come out on wax and gave their condolences and put their differences aside because this is real life. So I'm happy that Joshua came out unscathed, but there's potentially a lot of baggage that this comes with, unfortunately, because people have survivor's remorse and just loss in general. I mean, if you've ever lost anybody, you know how that feels. And that grief, I read about couples who have been married for 60 plus years, 80 years, and then they get elderly. One spouse dies, and then shortly after, the other one does, off of natural causes and grief. You know what I mean? So that's very real. So we all need to get behind Joshua, whether you like him as a fighter, as a person. He's dealing with something real. And, you know, I'm glad he's released from the hospital. And I think he should just take his time. That's the biggest message here. Take your time, decide what you want to do, decide if you need to come back. You made a lot of money. It looks like you have some great investments, and decide what's next and when it's next. I don't think anybody can rush Joshua in this. I know Turkey and DAZN, they were talking about him fighting in February. It's January 1st. I would not, if Joshua was my fighter, I would not suggest that. Do not fight in February. You know, maybe don't even fight in the summer after that. And Joshua should look at the people around him. If there are people who are saying the opposite of me, boxing ego, and they're telling you, oh, no, man, you got to fight. You know, don't let that define you. They would have wanted you to fight and all that. Then you got to really question who's in your corner, because nobody should be rushing Joshua back into the ring after that. You know what I mean? So it's my 2 cents, ego thoughts. Subscribe if you like it. Live streaming can be tough, which is why I use StreamYard. Click the link in the description for StreamYard, which is an awesome tool that enables you to set up your stream with ease of use. Get great results with live streaming. It's what I use. Stream to social media with ease with StreamYard. Live streaming is here to stay. Engage with your audience using StreamYard. Great way to reach out to your audience and connect. So you need a tool that can do that. If you're new to YouTube and you're struggling to get views, one tool I can provide to you is TubeBuddy. I've been on YouTube over 10 years. I use TubeBuddy daily to crank out videos just like this one that you're watching. Learn how the pros do it with TubeBuddy. YouTube receives a lot of traffic, which also means a lot of creators, a lot of people putting out content. So you need to learn the ropes so you know how to separate yourself, especially if you're new. But even if you're a pro, use TubeBuddy. The link is in the description. Get more views, more subscribers, and a higher click-through rate, so ultimately you can realize all of your online goals. Use my affiliate link in the description and grow your channel fast.